As far as the eye can see, buildings, commercial and residential, are coming up in different parts of the city every other day. However, some of the buildings, mostly commercial, remain unoccupied. According to a research conducted by the Institute of Policy Analysis and Research, IPAR, 85% of commercial buildings in the city of Kigali are occupied, while 15% are not. According to Dennis Carrera, an investor in the commercial real estate business, the speed at which commercial buildings are coming up is not commensurate to the market demand. If you analyze closely, you'll realize that the speed at which we are building is not equal to the market demand. For property developer Kefa Angwenyi, the high cost of renting the commercial buildings is what is putting off business owners.
It's not more about demand, it's more about cost at the moment, which could work in two ways. Maybe the businesses, once they grow, they'll be able to afford the spaces, or if the financing was lower and the rents were lower, then the current business would be able to take up those spaces.
According to the IPAR research, tenants have three main considerations before occupying any commercial building. 46.3% consider proximity to clients, 18.2% consider the prestige of the building location, while only 14.5% consider the rent of the buildings. The director of Kigali Urban Planning, Fred Mugisha, says that the flexibility of the revised city master plan will address the existing challenges, including the 15% unoccupancy rate in commercial buildings.
The previous master plan was somehow rigid. It was not possible to do incrementality. So what we allowed the investors is actually to implement what they want to implement in a couple of 10 years in phases. If you have 20 floors, for example, and there is no market for 20 floors, what we allowed in the new master plan is actually to implement according to the market dynamics of today. So you can be able to develop 2 floors, and maybe in a couple of 3 years, according to the market forces, you can be allowed to add extra 3 floors. Then up to 2050, you are going to have 20 floors as you previously required to construct. So we put this kind of flexibility in incrementality approach.
Charles Harbour, CEO of Century Real Estate, has commended the City of Kigali for considering feedback from the citizens before revising the city master plan.
One of the biggest wins in the new Kigali City Master Plan is the flexibility. The fact that it's not a static plan, that the fact also that the city authorities, especially in the planning department, have listened to feedback. I think that's the biggest win by far. I think it's also important to understand that the city of Kigali is now more engaging, and they're also talking about an annual appraisal, a periodic appraisal of how the plan is going, so we won't have to wait for the 5 years to complete before they come back to see how it is doing. So we're very optimistic that it's going to come out well.
Property developers also expressed their satisfaction with the revised master plan, saying that it will give property owners the room to maneuver and make appropriate changes in case of low demand for commercial buildings or residential houses.
It looks very nice from where I'm standing. It has addressed most of the challenges that we were facing, which is, notable among them, the inflexibility, because flexibility is key. In real estate development, as we are aware, it's not a fast turnaround project. You do projects for 4 years, for 3 years. So if the city is not responsive, you could be stuck with a project that was probably appropriate at the start, but not appropriate at the moment. So clients buy at this moment. So the city is moving very fast. So the city, when it shows that it's responsive and flexible to adapt to the current needs, then it helps.
The IPAR research shows that Remera has the highest commercial building occupancy rate at 93.1%, followed by Nyabugogo at 89.5% and Kachiru at 89.3%. Kichukiro has the lowest occupancy rate at 75.8%, followed by Gisozi at 77.6%. Fatima Tessi reporting for RTV, Kigali.